Welcome and good morning, and welcome back to Mike Ferry TV. It's the week of April 27th. You know, last week we had a very interesting conversation. I hope you had a chance to view that with Tony Smith, great agent out of Southern California. And when we finished the interview, Tony said, Mike, I just reviewed some notes on a program that you did 12, 15 years ago, and it was some of the best notes I've ever seen. I said, what was that? And he goes, you did a program called The 12 Deadly Sins of Prospecting. And I recalled, of course, doing that many years ago. And I said, but I don't really remember what was in it. He goes, well, I have a copy for you. And he handed me a copy of the notes from 12 years ago. And what I had done is, you know, and I'm sure you know this better than anybody, that almost every person that is involved in sales has days when they can't wait to call and talk to somebody about buying or selling a home. And unfortunately, we often have more days when we can't seem to figure out a way to get ourselves mentally prepared and physically involved in this job of prospecting. And the reason for that is manyfold. And of course, we used to always say that between rejection, acceptance, and embarrassment, they will keep you from doing your job. But today we have the added features of being able to buy leads instead of having to prospect, which doesn't make any sense because if you think about it, you buy 100 leads or 500 leads or 1,000 leads a month. The leads you're buying off the internet-based lead sales companies are not leads that you're not going to have to call. If you're buying leads, you're going to have to talk to the people at some point. The people aren't calling you. In most cases, they're not really waiting for your call, and they don't know who you are when you do call. So in essence, you're making a cold call to leads that you're buying. I mean, you're almost better off just opening up the phone directory and dialing for dollars that way. So today, there's too many options that we have available for not prospecting. And when I did this 12 Deadly Sins of Prospecting, a lot of the options we have today weren't available. So I thought it'd be fun today to go through and see if any of these thoughts apply to us today. Here we are, April 27th, 2015, versus, let's say, January of 2005, 2003. The 12 Deadly Sins of Prospecting. Number one, not prospecting when you should. Not prospecting when you should. If you define your job as a real estate agent, your job is to talk to people, to find out who wants to buy or sell, to make a presentation to them, and then get a contract signed and execute on what you made your promises on. That's our job as a real estate agent. How do you do that without talking to people? See, that's the fallacy of today with technology, social media, etc., which is a big deal. We know that. But the fallacy is if you're not in conversations and talking to people, how do you go ahead and do your job? Well, not prospecting when you should. You know you need to talk to people to build a business. So deadly sin number one is not talking to people when you should. Number two, not spending the time that you've allotted for prospecting each day. Everybody I talk to says, yeah, I know I'm supposed to prospect and I should talk to 5 people a day from my database, or I should call the for sale by owners, you know, and I'm working with Red X and I get the expires, but I'm not calling them. Not spending the time you've allotted for it. See, if you get into that trap of I'll make it up later, you know and I both know you'll never make it up later. Deadly sin number 3, not using the scripts in their entirety. You know, we've written a lot of great scripts that I used to use as an agent for all of you to use. And it's so interesting to see how the agents always want to go ahead and edit my scripts, and they want to change them. Several weeks ago, I did a productivity school in Seattle. And I would have the agent stand up and read the script out loud. My name is Mike, and I was wondering, when do you plan on moving? And how long have you lived at this address? Now, those are 2 pretty easy questions. So I'd have agent A stand up and say, okay, just read the first 2 questions. Hi, my name is Mike, and are you going to move? I said, no. What does the script say? My name is Mike. Do you think you might move? Read the script. When do you plan on moving? Why can't you say that? Because, see, we won't use the scripts in their entirety. We want to manufacture something. Number 4, accepting a no when a yes is still available or a possibility. See, most people, they have what they call the reflex no. When you're prospecting, my name is Mike, I'm in real estate, hang up, close the door, no, not interested. It's called the reflex no. If I say to you, can I give you $100? No, I mean yes. The reflex no is what people say automatically. So most people that commit the sin, number 4, is they accept the no when a yes is still available. Number 5 sin, stopping after the 3rd or 4th question as you're not feeling comfortable with their responses. Well, we have proven that in, for example, when you're cold calling, knocking on doors, just listed, just sold, that if you take the basic 6-question script and you ask all 6 questions, your chances for developing a lead have doubled and tripled than stopping on the 3rd or 4th question. When do you plan on moving? Well, never. And how long have you lived at this address? We've been here 12 years. Why are you asking? Well, I'm just curious. Where did you folks move from? Listen, we're not going to sell our home. Okay, thanks. Well, if you continue down, how did you happen to pick this area? And then the magical question, if you were to move, where would you go next? Well, if we did move, we'd move from here to LA. And when would that be? Oh, it wouldn't be for a couple months. Wait a minute. On question 3, we were going to quit because we didn't get a positive response. Then we asked questions 5 and 6, and we get the response. Number 6, interesting, deadly sin, allowing interruptions in the office to throw you off track. Think of the interruptions that you're experiencing right now as you're watching Mike Ferry TV. There's interruptions all the time, all the time. You know, I tell people in seminars, if you sit in the first 2 or 3 rows, you learn twice as much as the rest of the room, because if there's 500 people there, the farther back you sit, the more distractions you have in front of you. Somebody's itching their head, somebody's answering the phone, they're whispering to each other, they're moving in their chair, and the distractions are what keep you from learning. Number 7, not remaining focused as you make your calls and your contacts. All right, now watch this. I'm going to reach over, be right back, grab a pen. So you're making your calls, you're calling your database, and then you're doing something on the paper, you're drawing circles and you're making an Easter bunny and, you're making a heart and sending a note to your wife, I love you. Wait a minute, you're prospecting, you're trying to earn money. This is your career. These are paychecks that you're talking to, not remaining focused on when you make your calls. Deadly sin number 8, not using your energy and enthusiasm to persuade people that you're the right agent. Watch, energy and enthusiasm is universal to people that want to succeed. And people want to be around people that are excited about what they do. Nobody wants to be around people that are acting like they're dead most of the time. Hi, do you want to sell your home? No, I didn't think so. Thanks. Hi, this is Mike, and I'm with blank, and I was wondering, when do you plan on moving? See, the energy and enthusiasm attracts people to you. Deadly sin number 9, letting one conversation with one person defeat you mentally. Mike, I made some calls yesterday, and this person was so nasty, and they were rude, and they hung up on me. Okay, and what happened then? Well, I didn't make any more calls. Wait a minute. You ever thought about it this way? Why would you let what one person says to you control your destiny, your future, your production, your income? Watch. They say they don't want to sell because they don't want to sell. They say they don't want to buy because they don't want to buy. Big deal. Part of life. Why would I let one of you that would write me, say, a nasty email affect me from doing this program? I've had people say, I would never watch Mike Ferry TV. It's the dumbest show I've ever seen. I go, okay, fine. I just delete the email. And I continue doing my job. Number 10, deadly sins. Forgetting that one yes is all you need to make it a great prospecting session. You only need one yes. Let's say you call 20, 30 people in your database, or buy owners, or expires, or just listed, just sold, or that you call in the people you bought off the internet. If one person says yes, it's a great morning, and it can become a great day. Now watch this. Number 11, stopping your prospecting on a sour note, which ruins the rest of your day. Tony Smith said something to me last week, which I thought was interesting. He said, I do my prospecting in the morning, I make my 30 contacts, and then before I go home, I always make 3 more contacts, looking to see if there's just one more person out there that might want to do something. And if I find one, I'm excited. And if I don't, I'm excited because I made 3 more contacts. See, you can't stop, okay, on a sour note. And then number 12, starting your prospecting the next day knowing that number 1 through 11 are a problem for you on this list. We can't carry over the problems from yesterday to today in prospecting because that makes it a deadly sin. You know, Paul Azinger, a very famous professional golfer, said you never walk off a green depressed about what you did because it's your past. It's the history department. You get a new day, or in our business, we say start every day at 0. Every day when you start your job, you got a clean slate. You have the same opportunities as everybody else. It's a level playing field. Your chances for winning are as good as anybody else's are if you do your job. So let's say thanks to Tony for reminding me of this great list from 12 years ago, because the truth is, and I think most of us recognize, most of these 12 deadly sins still apply to us today. Let's not let them apply today. Let's have a great week. Talk to you next week.